What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Lineman Life Live. Monday, April 18th. Hope everybody had a wonderful Easter holiday weekend. Well, I guess the new football season has started in the spring ball period of the year, we could say. The USFL. USFL has started up, and some interesting football going on there. I would say, pretty decent for a relaunch of an old football league that actually was a competitor to the NFL at one point. Until somebody by the name of Donald Trump got involved and kind of ruined the whole league's credibility. And the rest is history. Literally sold out on a monopoly case, suing the NFL, and after losing that case, then kind of spelt the end for the USFL at that point. But now they are back, and we are here for it. Now, the games were one thing in the USFL, but there's another situation that is really making the biggest headlines for this now new reborn league, and it's a doozy, folks. So let's take a look here at this video. Now, this is something that the NFL for just to give you a little bit of a comparison here with some context. The NFL guys can get cut for doing ridiculous things. It's kind of part of the business of football. You can get cut for nothing. Some guys, it's a numbers thing. You just don't end up being able to fit into the amount of players that they need. You might be capable. You might be someone that in a regular situation they would keep, but because there's a lot of guys who are of that caliber, they have to let somebody go, and you might end up being that guy. That's the way of football. That's just the business of football, ain't it? Ain't it, Justin?
Yes, it is. It could be a cutthroat numbers game. Sometimes, I'm sure you and I have both seen guys that we thought were, good players, and this guy's killing in practice. And he's about to be the breakout player for our team this year. And then, 2 weeks later,
gone.
Anybody seen Johnny?
Grim Reaper got him. Grim Reaper came in and got him. So this situation clearly a little bit different. Says here, bro got cut by a USFL team for ordering pizza instead of a chicken salad. Now, I have not seen this video. I heard about it yesterday. I saw, that Twitter was buzzing about it, but I didn't really, I didn't get a chance to look at it. So we're going to look at this together. I'm interested here to see how this all went down, because I guess this is the USFL version of Hard Knocks, United by Football. Like, it's their version of it. So let's take a look here, and let's see how this plays out, because this is comedy. There's got to be comedy.
John Peters, personnel director. What's up, man? Good morning, man.
Well, he crossed the line, so we had to deal with it.
Before we even get started, well, he crossed the line, so we had to deal with it. It's funny because they always do the dark background, to kind of make it dramatic. Right. And you guys are sitting there, and this is like those confessionals, and he's got to give him his give his perspective on the business side of the game.
I know he hated doing this shit too.
So we had to deal with it.
This is very difficult for me as a head coach. It's my first time, but we have a business. Okay, this is business, and you're a businessman. We all are, because that's the nature of the beast right now. But when I first talked to you guys on March 22nd, I had a handbook. I covered some items that were very important to me.
Line 46 addresses that. Any disrespect of football or members, staff, USFL, hotel, etc., would not be tolerated.
And it's been brought to my attention that has occurred with you. So unfortunately, hear me out. Unfortunately, cost of doing business, I'm going to have to let you go. Okay?
I didn't think I did anything or said anything disrespectful.
I can tell you what happened exactly.
It's not important.
Right.
It's not important.
What?
What happened?
You don't want to hear his
important?
side of the story? Can you
Oh,
guys
wow.
hear the? Can y'all hear it? The audio is
It's a little,
kind of.
I can hear it. It's a little low,
You
but I
can
can
hear
hear
it.
it. Yeah.
It's kind of shitty, guys. It's like I mean, come on, this is a second-rate football league. Like they don't have actual like XLR stereo audio receiving. I'm over here pushing my earbuds into my ear so I can hear it too. So might want to turn up your volume on your phone or on your computer to hear what they're saying, because it is a little bit low. And I've got it turned all the way up over here. So I mean, you know, it is what it is as far as that's concerned. But if you couldn't hear it, I'll go back a little bit. Now, apparently he disrespected somebody. We don't know who it is yet. We don't know who it is yet. And he don't want to hear his side of the story. So he said his side of the story is not important. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
And it's been brought to my attention that has occurred with you. So unfortunately, hear me out. Unfortunately, cost of doing business, I'm gonna have to let you go. Okay?
I didn't think I did anything or said anything disrespectful.
I can tell you what happened exactly.
It's not important.
Right.
It's not important.
I don't know.
It's already happened.
Right.
It's already happened.
I didn't say anything disrespectful. He said, "Is that going to be a problem?" I said, "Yes." That's it. And I walked away. I mean, I didn't think that was disrespectful. Me saying yes, I don't eat chicken salad. And I was like, "Is there another option?" Walked in with pizza. I was like, "Can I get a slice of pizza?" He said, "No." I was like, he said, "Is that going to be a problem?" I said, "Yes." That's all I said. I didn't say no cuss word, nothing. That's all I said. I promise you. No disrespectful on my dad's life. I promise you I didn't say nothing disrespectful besides yes.
And I appreciate you sharing that. But the matter
So hold on. He said, I ain't gonna eat a chicken salad. And then dude walks in with a pizza. He says, "Hey, can I get a slice of that pizza?" He says, "No." Is that going to be a problem? He says, "Yeah, I'm hungry."
We got a problem. This is great.
Wow.
All you had to say was, you know, I'm allergic. You know, I got a food restriction, and we're probably not sitting here.
He has no idea why this guy is preferring not to eat a chicken salad. That's okay. Let's keep going.
Disrespectful besides yes.
and I appreciate you sharing that. But the matters, it's done. It's done.
It's done.
But good luck.
he said, "But good luck." Damn, they just ruined this cat motherfucking shot. Hold on, let me run it back a little bit. This kind of crazy. So I'm trying to understand the story. Like, what happened?
Yes. That's it. I can tell you what happened exactly.
It's not important.
Right.
It's not important.
I don't know.
It's already happened.
Right.
It's already happened.
I didn't say anything disrespectful. He said, "Is that going to be a problem?" I said, "Yes." That's it. And I walked away. I mean, I didn't think that was disrespectful. Me saying yes, I don't eat chicken salad. And I was like, "Is there another option?" Walked in with pizza. And I was like, "Can I get a slice of pizza?" He said, "No." I was like, he said, "Is that going to be a problem?" I said, "Yes." That's all I said. I didn't say no cuss word, nothing. That's all I said. I promise you. No disrespectful on my dad's life. I promise you I didn't say nothing disrespectful besides yes.
And I appreciate you sharing that. But the matters, it's done. It's done. I appreciate you sharing it. But good luck.
Someone's feelings hurt feelings are a distant second to the greater good of the team. And we've moved on and turned that page, and I'm happy we did it.
I can't go up about something. As a matter of fact, work. I ain't no dumb dude, so I'll figure it out.
Jesus.
That dude is
I mean,
right here.
They let Buddy go just because he said he wanted to eat pizza instead of a chicken salad. I mean, I don't even understand, like, what exactly is it that they think? What was he like? What was that? How was he supposed to respond? Like, how was he supposed to, like, even, like, acknowledge? I mean, if he didn't answer the dude's question, would that have been considered disrespect? Oh, you got your headset on. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to complain about my audio.
You plug it in? No, it's worse. Just change your audio setting, probably. Change your mic setting to the headset. But that was weird. I've never seen anything like that. And usually, you know, let's see if he's good here. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. We're sitting here talking about USFL launch weekend and the I guess you could call this Pizzagate. I guess you could call it Pizzagate because this guy definitely, you know, tried to get some pizza instead of a chicken salad and he lost his job over it. But really kind of crazy stuff here. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. There you go.
Okay, looks like I'm back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back in the game, coach.
Oh, yeah. Back in the game. So, Pizzagate in the USFL, I mean, look, dude, I don't think I've ever heard of a guy getting axed because he, like, I don't even know what to call it. What did he do? He just wanted pizza. That was it.
Oh my gosh, I would be at HR well, assuming they have HR.
I mean, I might try. I mean,
I'm calling ACLU. You know,
for real, something has got to happen because this is ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense. But I mean, of course, let's see what the comments look like in here. Well, Willie Anderson, big Willie Anderson. That's there you go. That's a 14-year vet right here replying to this.
That's a big dog coming in here.
That's a big dog. This is an OG. He says, please, God, don't allow this coach or any coaches like him to have success. I can't stand these kind, nose in the air type coaches. What's his name? He couldn't wait to cut this dude. He wanted him to hear the bad news ASAP. Let us rejoice when they fire his ass. I'm going off the video alone. Now, if we find out the player did some disrespectful actions towards anyone, I take it back. But if this is it, man, please, to hell with that dude. NFL coaches give way more leeway. This burns me up, coaches like this. That's a 14-year vet right there. I've worked with Willie Anderson. I've done some work with him out here in Georgia before. This dude is a top-notch dude. He's a top-notch dude. I did some training with him while I was actually playing. I would come out here in the off season and work out at Georgia Sports Performance, and he would be there. We'd be doing O-line drills with him, helping some of the young guys who are getting ready for college. So this dude, shout out to Big Willie, man. Yeah, this dude's he's good.
He's spot on here. Spot on here.
And he's spot on because look, the way that this coach is acting in this video, like the way he was going on, you know, this is a guy who's, you know, in football, you try to set the culture, right? You try to set your culture for your team off the rip. And I can imagine that in the USFL right now, that is probably like being done it's probably being done with overkill. Like they're doing it too hard.
Yeah.
Because they want to set some standard of like toughness and expectations for the players.
Right.
But it's like, bro, these are guys who have been in college. These are guys who probably, a lot of them have had at least a year in the NFL, whether it be practice squad, whether it be, you know, special teams on the active. They've had a little bit of NFL experience, right? These guys would probably be developmental league guys, you know, if there was still an NFL Europe. But
But they've seen how things are supposed to work.
They know how things are supposed to work. They understand that there is a level of accountability, but holy crap. Like a coach who comes in and takes this situation and handles it like that, where you're actually, regardless of whether he likes the player or not, which it seems like he ain't like him.
Clearly don't like this guy.
For real. Seems like he really ain't like him. But to look at this to look at this new coach who comes in and he wants to try and set this tone. And this is a guy, in my opinion, just from looking at this video, this is just a little couple of seconds of listening to this coach. This is a guy who is a tryhard.
Yeah.
And tryhard guys generally, depending on the circumstance, when you try too hard, you kind of get that rubber band effect that backfires. Your guys are going to see that you cut a good player because of some mix up about pizza and chicken salad. They're going to go on Twitter. They're going to see how you're getting clowned, and they're going to want nothing to do with this team. Or you're just not going to have the respect. You're not going to have the locker room like you think you do.
True. Definitely going to lose guys over shit like this.
Yeah, you can lose players over this very easily because if you listen to him, when he's sitting there talking about this is a business and you a businessman. Well, that a chicken salad and pizza ain't got shit to do with our business.
That's not business.
That's not business, my friend. Like, what are you talking about?
Business is putting butts in the seats.
Exactly. Business is making plays in between the lines, being accountable for your responsibilities as a player, and then, performing on game day. Yeah, you don't want to, come on, if we're equating pizza and chicken salad to like getting arrested, that's another mistake because that ain't got nothing to do with it. But
and also I imagine that these coaches are probably, they know the cameras are around. Hey, this might be my shot.
You know what I mean?
But hey, this is not the way to get it, sir.
Hold on. Is this their okay? Oh, somebody put this on Wikipedia. I guess who's the coach?
I did not recognize him, so I don't know where.
I didn't recognize him either. I'm trying to figure out who is he. Just because they have him on.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't try to poach more like former players to do this.
Wilson was diagnosed with late-term CTE after being shown cutting Mauler's running back Devion Smith over Smith saying the word yes, and Wilson determining this to be an act of disrespect. Jeez.
Bye.
What is going on?
Man, this poor guy. Now he's back home or wherever he came from before this, all over some damn pizza.
All over some damn pizza. He said, "Is that going to be a problem?" And I said, "Yes." And coach right before telling. Stand up. Oh my God. What a snitch. Jeez. And the coach, it wasn't even a head coach, right? It wasn't even the head coach. It was just some coach who, when he said, yes, that's going to be a problem, he went and snitched.
Dog, I would, to be a fly on the wall for this whole situation.
Hey.
There's got to be more.
There's got to be more. Hey, and you know what the funny thing is? I think I'm going to start watching this shit now. I think that's kind of pulled me in. I'm like, hey, if they're cutting guys for ordering chicken pizza over chicken salad, I want to be a part of this. I want to see this. I want to see what else they got.
This is like real world MTV level drama.
Yeah, it's like legitimate drama. And that's what I want. That's what I'm looking for when it comes to football. I want some legitimate drama. I don't want no square business at all. And this dude over here is definitely providing some drama. He's taking everything personal, but this shit right here is just great. This shit is great. That's the coach right there. I'm about to tell. He's like, "That's gonna be a problem." This stare down is epic. You get a like.
Goodness gracious.
This guy here says, "I'm glad people are starting to see how ridiculous stupid and backwards the culture is in football, especially the coaching. Why I say the NFL is the most diluted sports league in the world. Talent is often sacrificed for shit like this. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Hey,
Yeah.
every
I don't
coach,
know what you're watching.
every coach, that first meeting, I'm not going to treat y'all equal, but I'm going to treat you all fair.
I'm going to treat you fair.
So if
and
you
I'm
can
going to
play,
treat you like grown men.
if you could play,
And then,
this shit, hey, never see it.
hey, that is like the overwhelming preference of coaches. If you can play, we'll put up with some bullshit.
Yeah. I mean,
shoot.
all them years, AB, AB wasn't acting right in Pittsburgh.
Oh, hey, look, Pittsburgh did the smoothest, most wonderful job you can to hold under, to keep everything that this cat AB was doing swept under the rug for years before he finally broke loose. Because didn't nobody even know AB was a problem until after that Montez Burfict hit.
Yeah, everyone thought he was just a model citizen.
Before that, they was like, nah, he was tripping before that. Like, he was already tripping. He had been tripping. So it was never a situation where, this guy got hit and then all of a sudden now he's having, CT symptoms. No, nothing like that. That dude was a problem anyways. As soon as he realized he was good, he was a problem.
Yeah.
This person says this league is going to fold so fucking fast. Not even because the product on offense sucks, but because the leadership is absolutely horrible. Look at this small ass power trip a single coach gets into for pizza. Wow. Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Okay, hold on. We got more. Let's see what they got here.
Like, I think I might watch just this part, not even the games.
Yeah, I think I just want to see like the behind the scenes stuff. This whole their whole what's it called? Freaking Hard Knocks. Their version of Hard Knocks.
You gotta believe in him. You gotta believe in him. I need you to believe in me. And through your actions and works, then I start trusting you. Because I can't make you better if you're like this all the time. You got your shield up, your force field from the
Oh, is this the same coach? This is him.
That was disrespectful.
You defense him.
Let's start it over. I didn't realize it was him.
Oh, yeah.
Believe in him. You got to believe in him. I need you to believe in me. And through your actions and
Kirby
works,
Wilson.
then I start trusting you. Because I can't make you better if you're like this all the time. You got your shield up, your force field from the old Star Wars movies and all that. Or you got your hands up.
Star Wars reference.
Them.
Okay.
If you don't let us in, we cannot help you. I'm talking to everybody in this room. And if you get the out.
Wait, whoa. How did that go?
Yeah, hold on.
How did that escalate?
How did he go from 0 to 100 like that?
He escalated so quick.
We cannot help you. I'm talking to everybody in this room. And if you don't want to be here, get the out. I'm talking to everybody. Get the out.
Kirby.
Where's
my man? Kirby.
I got to find this guy's background.
I got to. Let's look his dude, Kirby Wilson. Who the hell did this guy? Where did he come from?
He has clearly never heard of positive reinforcement. Oh man. Hey, he's gonna be trending though.
He was a running back coach in the league for 23 years.
Shit.
Possible.
They must have never let him speak. Goodness.
Hold on though. Okay, 3 years with the Patriots, 2 years with the Redskins, 2 years with the Bucks, 2 years with the Cardinals. He was with the Steelers for 7 years, then Minnesota for 2 years, then Cleveland for 2 years. He got 2 seasons everywhere except for 1 year with Arizona in 2018. Oh, this dude was bounced around. He just bounced around. Every 2 years he was gone.
Shit, I mean, he parlayed that shit into 23 years though.
Hey, shit, he sure did. But so as a coach in the league and a running back coach, if you're a position coaches,
It's a little
it's a little bit different than your coordinators and your head coach, right? So position coaches, there is a much higher turnaround with them. There's a much higher turnaround with position coaches.
But
there
are
are some
the first ones
teams
to go.
where position
They're the first ones to go.
The position coaches are the first ones to get swept off the board. they just be like, get them out. But this was a journeyman coach for sure because it was like 2 years. So 2 years is enough time for them to like kind of get your vibe. And if they don't give you an extension after 2 years, that means that they don't want you there. That means that you didn't work well. So, because I mean, in Jacksonville, when I was in Jacksonville, and Justin, you can, definitely let me know how it was in Atlanta. But in Jacksonville, I had the same running back coach, I won't say running back coach. I'll say for O-line. For O-line, I had the same O-line coach 6 out of my 7 years. So, I had Andy Heck for 6 years, and then I had George Yarno for 1 year. And
we're the same way. Same way here.
Yeah. You had a longevity with your O-line coach. So it was like, because we had a good O-line.
Yeah, right. I'm looking at these teams like these aren't trash teams.
Yeah.
Like Steelers are usually pretty good. Okay, he had a nice run there. So, but if you're on a successful team and you're still getting turned over like that,
for real, because these are good teams he was with. That 2000 Redskins team, that was not a bad night. That was when they were kind of they were. I think that was around the time they found their way back into the playoffs.
I think you're right.
When they had LeVar Arrington.
Some of these are some good squads here.
Tampa Bay 2002, that was a Super Bowl team. Arizona 2004, that was when they had Simeon Rice. Or no, that was after Simeon Rice.
But anyways, like
Steelers
said,
with Mike Tomlin.
Big difference between head coach, coordinator, position coach. Everyone's apparently he's a pretty damn good running backs coach. But
I mean,
I have a hard time believing that he's doing much speaking in front of the team as a running back coach.
Oh yeah,
so,
this ain't the guy you want talking to your players. Because listen to him now. He's, and this was one thing that I began to realize as a player is that when you're in these environments where you got a coach talking to everybody and they're being candid, you still want to be professional. Because it's kind of a turnoff when a coach starts doing a lot of cussing and because they're trying to be on your level, right? They're trying to relate in how they speak to us, but we only speak like that amongst each other. We don't speak like that with our coaches, so it's not like you don't have to go to that level. And that's like one thing that happened for us when we, when Roger Goodell came right before you remember the 2010 lockout.
Oh yeah.
So, Goodell went to every team. I'm pretty sure he went to Atlanta too, but he went to every team and talked to every team. And he came to our shit, and this dude was cussing up a storm. And we was like, bruh, chill out.
What?
Speak to us like men. Like, don't sit there and cuss the whole time. He was like, we got to fucking get the game going, guys. And I'm like, everybody's kind of like, whoa. But then he kept going. He's like a son of a bitch. And we're like, hey, Roger, listen.
You don't got to do this, sir.
You don't got to go all hard with this cussing. We understand English. You can just speak to us. Like, go ahead. And then he got back more into his professional vibe that you see on TV. And we're cool with that. We're like, okay, that's what we want. We don't want you like come on, man. We're not hanging out. We're not going to hang out with you or no shit. So just talk.
Right.
So that was, when you got a coach in that situation, the coach got to know how to massage that. And this guy, from going from a running backs coach to because look at how they look at him when he starts talking like that. They're like, what the fuck?
Get the out. I'm talking to everybody.
Do I need to be prepared to defend myself? What's happening?
You here, and we can help you if you let us. I don't want any belly aching. But no one. I decided the ball. Whatever the he says, that's what the it is. If you don't like to come see me, and I'll help you get out.
Ooh.
I'll help you get out.
Woo. Okay.
All right, guys, let's go. Let's go
All
practice
right,
now.
good talk, boys. Let's go.
Everybody should be
There's
ready.
got to be more. Oh my gosh.
Like, if you're not ready to run through a brick wall after that speech,
for real. I mean, I'm looking for more. I want to see more. I'm interested. But wearing this outfit is enough to lose respect of a team already. Oh, man. That's funny. Okay, so, I guess at the end of the day, when I look at this situation, I just kind of think of it as, just the coach just trying too hard to do to fit that role that he's seen other coaches fit throughout his career. While he's been a running back coach, he's seen coaches, and he's kind of absorbed that vibe of, okay, this is how you react to this situation. Yep. And it's really, at the end of the day, unless you've been in it long enough, you don't know that. You may have seen him kind of riling up when he speaks to the players, but he didn't go all in vulgar. You don't go all the way retard. You don't go all the way. You just go about halfway in. You yell, you get out the message you want to get out, and then you bring it back down. You bring it back to a level of professionalism where you can get the guys to continue to move past it.
Right, especially as the head man. You always want to be, as much as possible, calm, collected, on that even keel. It's okay to get riled up. You get a bad call or someone makes a really bonehead play or something like that. Yeah, you're going to get upset. But, in this setting, I don't even know if this is like a pregame or anything, like what they're getting ready to do.
This is training camp.
Like, you gang banging on breakfast? Like, what's going on, sir?
And that was like, that felt like a team meeting. And I'm like, yo, why is somebody on a knee in a team meeting? Like, they ain't have enough chairs.
Also, there was like 12 people in the whole meeting.
Yeah, there was like 12, 15 people in the meeting. I'm like,
y'all playing both ways? What's going on here?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. This is why whenever people ask me, hey, I know you're like done playing in the NFL, you're retired, but would you play in like the X League? I was like, fuck no. Would you play in the USL, USFL? Fuck no. Why not? It's football. I'm like, let me explain something to you.
Any vested player will have walked the fuck out of that meeting as soon as you start doing that.
Look, we worked way too hard and bled and hurt to play in the NFL. The highest, this is the elite of the elite it's the top of the top, best of the best. Once you start getting paid millions of bucks a year, you won't play for any less. And there is no amount of money, knowing how hard it is, there was no amount of money any less than what I was making that I would take to do it again.
Right.
Because it's too hard. And to be treated like that? Oh, please. Look, first off, in the NFL, they don't act like that. So if a coach start talking to me like that, I'd be like, look, motherfucker, what you want to do? I'll stand right up right there in the room like, what you want to do?
Yeah.
What you want to do? You want to talk crazy? Well, okay, step up.
We still men. So
we still men.
We can handle this real easy.
We can handle this any way you feel like. But also, it's you just don't look. There's a certain level of pride in what we did. Like, we played at the top of football. There is no higher level against the best. Some of the best that have ever played. I'm not going to play at a level below that. But I respect that the league is doing what it's trying to. The NFL needs. There needs to be a second football league. There needs to be, because what it does is it gives you a natural feeder system for guys who maybe aren't ready for the league when they come out of college, but there's talent there that can be improved, that can be coached up to then get a more legitimate chance at the NFL, maybe a year or two later.
Right.
I think that's
squad's
huge.
Not enough. Like, just bouncing around, P squads, you're getting maybe, a dozen reps here and there, during the season.
I mean, these guys are getting
if you're fortunate enough, and mostly
5% of the reps in training camp, and that's when the most reps go out.
Yeah, and you're running off of cards and shit most of the time.
Yeah,
running other people's offenses, so it's not really like a fair look. Like even if you're doing well, it's always just reading cards. It's completely different than playing the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. There needs to be a minor league because there's not enough time for those guys in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough time. Those guys' careers are going to be done. Like, because look, and this is the truth of the matter. There is a percentage of players who get picked up just to be bodies.
Yep,
they're not picked up to be even considered in being signed for a long period, for any more, even a season. There are guys who they literally will sign just for that week to be a practice squad guy. And then they're going to cut him at the end of the week because they got, a one practice squad guy that they like is injured. So they'll put him down or something, put him on IR for, a week, or put him on, just sit him to the side during that week because they don't want to cut him because another team will snatch him up.
Yep.
And they'll bring in a dude and knowing this dude thinks, oh man, I got another shot. No, you don't. You're just being brought in for just this shit now. That's it. You're done in 3 days. So, there's not enough time for these guys who can develop into serviceable guys that you could have on special teams, or you could have potentially as, defensive guy who could be in the rotation on defense or offense. Those guys only get like a year. And then if they haven't jumped up in production and consistency, those guys are gone. Well, if that guy can get 2 years in the USFL, then come into and then go to the NFL, he might be developed enough as a player to where they're like, okay, you know what? This guy's actually, he's good. We can put him in there. We can put him in on special teams immediately.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, this guy's returning kicks and he returns for a touchdown. Let's put him in a slot receiver too.
Maybe we can
do there.
Exactly.
Well, and then boom, now you're a player. That's how, guys like Mike Thomas in Jacksonville. Mike Thomas was a special teams guy, and he started returning kicks for touchdowns. And then they put him in a slot. And then he actually had 1 year where he was one of the best in the NFL in the slot. They gave him a contract and he literally went.
They gave me my money?
Hey, you could tell, bro. You could tell they gave him that money and he said, toodaloo.
Hey,
because look,
cost doing business, man.
And this was back 2000. It's like 2010, 2011. They gave him a 3-year, like $20 million contract. Which is good for a slot. For a slot, yeah, that's good money.
Hell yeah.
And they cut that motherfucker after year one. I was like, wow.
Hey.
I mean, and it was crazy because this dude caught every ball. I was like, man, Mike Thomas, he's going to be like Stephen Smith. Like, he has a Stephen Smith look to him. And the next year, this motherfucker was dropping everything. He went and bought him like a $2 million crib. He was, he got a nice little Rolls Royce. And that cat came into practice and just brickhanding everything. I'm like, oh, shit.
Wow.
In the games on 3rd and 6, dropped it. It was easy pass, dropped it. I'm like, and then when the media start talking about him, I was like, uh-oh. Once the media start talking bad, you one step away from getting your ass cut.
He's been exposed.
And by the end of the season, before the end of the season, I think they traded him to Arizona, I think, or something like that. He was done. I was like, geez. People were really talking about this guy being like a legit Stephen Smith style receiver who could play a long time. So, you never know what you get. But with some of these guys, they don't have the time to develop. You need to have a league that can develop them. You need to have a league that can become like a natural feeder to the NFL. And the NFL will work with you. Like the NFL actually agreed to work with the XFL in its original incarnation. And they agreed to work with them in way of, giving them guys who they didn't have the rights for anymore, and then picking up guys who, they wanted to take a look at. And that was kind of like, a tentative, like, okay, let's roll with it. Oh yeah, this is true too. Mike Thomas has his jersey in the Hall of Fame. he caught a Hail Mary pass that gave us the win against Houston in 2010, I believe. Yeah, that was the year he was balling.
Damn. Hey, good
He
for
caught
him,
a Hail
man.
Mary off a deflection. Hey,
Good
that
for
was my
him.
first Hail Mary. I was like, I was hyped.
Man.
Yeah, because I was not wanting to play overtime. I was like, shit, I am not trying to do this overtime shit. Fuck. Oh, they traded him to the Lions. That's right. Lions. That's Lions.
Okay. So like off to Siberia.
Yep. They sent him to the graveyard. Yeah. That was a surprising end for him. But good dude. Me and him were we were good friends. So shout out to Mike T. I know I think he lives out here in ATL. So last time I talked to him, he was out here. But moving on from the USFL and their relaunching, Baker Mayfield, a little bit more information going on. We had a little bit of drama that's kind of perked up out in Carolina. Carolina has been listed as one of the teams that could potentially make a trade for Baker Mayfield, which, in all honesty, would be an upgrade for them at quarterback right now. Who's their quarterback again right now?
Sam Darnold, I believe.
Sam Darnold, yeah. Sam Darnold is legitimately, this dude's a bust.
Yeah,
he had like
probably 2 or 3 teams that Baker Mayfield would be an upgrade tomorrow. And that's one of them. So
yeah, he would be an upgrade for the Panthers. But when this got out that there was mention of the Panthers wanting to take a look to get Baker Mayfield, Panthers receiver Robbie Anderson had something to say about that. And you see it here on the Instagram post. Per Ian Rappaport, the most likely landing spot for Baker Mayfield is the Carolina Panthers. Robbie Anderson replies, "No!" And it got pinned at the top of the damn post. I mean, how much worse does it get for Baker at this point?
And honestly, he's probably a better option than Sam Darnold at this point. Or
even from a competitive standpoint, I think that's true.
I'm not sure where they're picking in the draft, but I think they'd have a shot at like Malik Willis or one of these rookie quarterbacks coming out. Maybe they're better than Sam Darnold, but I don't think they're better than Baker Mayfield. Starting right off the bat, a guy with 4 years of experience. So you could do a lot worse, but you could do a lot better.
Yeah. You could do a lot worse than Baker Mayfield. Now, as far as, just the long, it's hard to really, when you really look at his situation, and like he said, which is true, he had 4 different head coaches, 4 different offensive coordinators in 4 years. So how do you predict the trajectory of a guy's career at this point where you've seen him have success?
Yeah.
And they went to the playoffs. They won a playoff game behind him. He's had success.
There's
he
something.
can be a successful player.
But then also, he's probably looking at like how Baker and OBJ started, rubbing each other the wrong way. Not even just like on some production shit. Just, if this guy doesn't have success, he's gonna fucking blame me.
Yeah.
Out here making
if he's not getting enough targets, it's gonna be on the quarterback. And for Baker Mayfield, I think that because he kind of rubbed people the wrong way when he got into the NFL and how he acted and kind of his arrogance a little bit, people don't forget that shit. People don't forget it. And that's how. And once they tab you as that kind of guy, that's just kind of who you're going to be to them.
Yeah,
even though he's shown some growth.
Players pay attention, and that shit spreads. Like that type of reputation.
No doubt.
Like if you're that type of guy, that's gonna your reputation will precede you wherever you go.
It will precede you. That's how people will people will look at you as that is who you are. And for him, he is undoubtedly stuck between a rock and a hard place.
He's fortunate. He's a pretty good player. He's a
pretty good player, but at the quarterback position,
as
you're
a former
either
number
deemed,
one.
yeah, former number one overall.
Yeah, not just a first rounder.
Completely different kind of expectation for you. And for him, as a quarterback, you're either elite or you're not. They don't even talk about anything else. Like, are you an elite quarterback or are you not? And even for guys who are in the top 10 in passing, if you're not considered elite, they just say you're just another guy.
Yep.
It's the elite quarterbacks and then everybody else. So he has fashioned himself to be elite coming into the league. And then he almost got to a point where he could validate that after winning a playoff game. And then he had the season that he had last year. And, hey, they'll say, oh, yeah, he showed toughness. But the toughness, they don't got no stat for toughness, homie. Ain't no stat for that.
Only in Madden.
You know what I mean? Only in Madden. But obviously here, Robbie Anderson does not want the Carolina Panthers to go after Baker Mayfield. And, I mean, this is another rib shot. Another rib shot for Baker in the long line of rib shots he's been taking, not only from fans, not only from players, but now also from the organization itself with how the Browns did them. So rough sledding from my boy there. Rough sledding.
Yeah, and whoever he goes is going to be on the hook for $18 million, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody wants that. Yeah, and with Carolina, they're already paying $18 a year for Sam Darnold.
Right. So now you're essentially paying like Dak Prescott money.
40, basically paying
for the
40 mil. Quarterback room's the most expensive room in the goddamn building.
Yes. And you're getting.
And they're not even good.
Butkus out of production. Just.
Now, also, and speaking of another player who is in a situation that's a little bit weird, you got Kyler Murray, who is officially holding out. Now, this here is talking about Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. Both of these guys are, I guess, looking for new contracts and coming off Derek Carr's new contract. That means they should be looking at about $40.5 a year. But with Kyler Murray officially saying he will not play if he doesn't get a new contract, I don't believe Arizona is totally convincing him yet.
This is what, year 4 for him?
Yes. I think this is going into his last. Is it? I feel like he's been in the league longer. Let me see.
Well, because if it was 5, then they would have had to pick up his option.
Yeah, they had to pick up his option. So,
someone just said year 3.
Here.
Someone just said year 3 in the
year
chat.
3. Okay, yeah, he's got 3 years. This is his 4th coming up. So, Kyler Murray's situation to me is a little bit. I mean, he's in a good position as a player because he's got a good resume to look at. He's helped flip the team around from a win-loss perspective. They've gotten playoff appearances. And I mean, you would definitely be taking a huge hit if he was not the guy. If he wasn't, if he was a guy who didn't play, you would be taking a huge hit as a team. I would say the same with Lamar Jackson, just because Lamar Jackson's situation is the team was actually built around his abilities. So, he is, even though you would have to have somebody like him to step in for him. Now they did have that.
They had Huntley was the backup.
Huntley had a good showing for Baltimore. So there is at least some stability there. There's stability in Baltimore in that regard. And Lamar Jackson's not looking to hold out. He's not looking to get another contract. He said himself he doesn't want one unless he earns it. Now, you can argue whether or not you think he's earned it at this point. I honestly think for him, if I'm being straight up with Lamar Jackson, I would say if you take away last year where he had the injuries,
I mean, he does have an MVP.
I would say he's earned it because you got an MVP in there, and
he's younger than Joe Burrow,
and he's young. Yeah,
he's chronologically.
A young guy. He had one. He had last year was a bit of a wash because of the injuries. The year before that, They had a good run. Didn't play out the way they wanted, but you know, there are a number of different reasons for that. The year before that, they lost out to the year he won the MVP. They lost out to Tennessee in the playoffs. You know, they just kind of ran into a buzzsaw there, and their defense kind of got exposed. And I would say he's earned it because you don't have a team with him. You know, it's not a team. It's a team that's built around his specific abilities.
Yeah, and he's asked to do a whole lot.
And he's asked to do a lot, and he does a lot, and he brings a ton to the table. I mean, come on. He's the most elusive player, I would say, in the NFL. He is the hardest player to tackle in the open field for any player in the NFL. So I would say that, you know, he has earned it. Kyler Murray, I would have been a lock for Kyler Murray getting a contract extension if he didn't play as bad as he did in that playoff game.
As soon as he comes to that meeting, I just play that one clip over and over.
Yeah. As soon as he comes in, as soon as him and his agent walk in, I'm just hitting play.
That's going to be the background of the whole meeting.
It's gonna be like, have you seen the dude Brendan, what's his name? Brendan something on Twitter who be putting up them videos and watching film? The film video sessions.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He'd be like, all right. Take a look NFL playoffs. NFL playoffs, third and 20. We're at our 1 yard line. We're backed up. It's a big the moment's too big. I'm scared. So I piss down my leg and I throw a pick six while I'm getting tackled in the end zone for safety. Instead of giving up 2 points, I give up 7. Right?
So basically him
my God. Hey. Yeah, I love that. That dude.
Same play Carson Wentz made.
Exactly, right? That dude right there, that dude's videos have me rolling on good. Twitter. But
he's good.
But definitely Kyler Murray, he's holding out. He's not going to play unless he gets a new deal. Do I think they're going to give him a new deal? I think they will. I just think that they're trying to, I don't know. I mean, Arizona is their history, the last 4 or 5 years or 4 years with Cliff Kingsbury have all played out the same way for them.
They start off hot.
Start off hot and collapse at the end. So I think they're in a situation now where they have to be able to navigate their head coach and their quarterback, because one might believe that if they have another season like that next year, Kingsbury might be done. And if Kingsbury is done, he is attached at the hip with Kyler Murray. So is Kyler Murray going to be the guy that the next head coach is going to want to lean on if that scenario plays itself out? I think that's where there could be hesitation to give him a new deal, because you want to see that the team itself is going to be stable and being able to secure a playoff spot. Now you've got a little bit weaker NFC West at this point, because Seattle has lost Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. They're going to be a little bit weaker. They're going to be a lot weaker, and that's going to give them an opportunity. But you still got the Rams.
The Rams are still
the Rams got stronger.
Rams still looking mighty good.
They're looking strong. So, you know, it's gonna. This next season is going to be a make or break season, I believe, for both of them. Just if they don't give him Kyler Murray a new contract, then it's going to be a make or break year. That means that this year is the year that decides it for them. Which, you know, if you don't play, which, I mean, is he really not going to play? I doubt that. He might not.
No one really doesn't play.
Yeah,
when push comes to shove.
He might sit out the preseason. He might not show up in training camp or the preseason, but come on. You going to give up them game checks, because you know their game checks are pretty good right now as is.
The numbers get crazy. The fines.
Oh, yeah, and them fines start stacking up.
$30,000 a day, and then it starts tacking on after that.
Mm-hmm. And then when you come back, you got to negotiate the fine, because if they really enforce the fine, you might lose like 3 or 4 game checks.
Right.
So that's going to be rough for him. But you know, that's the situation with Kyler Murray at this point. We'll keep an eye on what's going on with that as obviously as news breaks on it. Now, finally, for our last story of the night, you knew I had to talk about the Jags.
Y'all jagging again.
Well, the Jags is gone jag. So, look, folks, I've been trying to just wait and see what's going on with my Jaguars here and the situation with this first overall pick. Now, you guys have seen our gameplay breakdowns, our film breakdown of the offensive linemen in the draft, the top 10. One of those top 10 was one that people are saying the Jaguars should take at number 1 between Evan Neal and Aiden Hutchinson. And outside of that, I have honestly been of the opinion that the Jags should trade that number 1 pick. I don't think that there is a true to heart number 1 pick in this draft.
Yeah, there's not like
if you could omit the number 1 spot in this draft and nobody pick a number 1 and it just go from 2 on, that would actually make more sense to me than saying there is a number 1 overall lock in this draft, because there's not.
Yeah, there's not like a franchise changing talent this year.
There's not a franchise changing guy in this draft. It's just not.
At least pre-draft.
Yes.
Obviously things shake out differently down the road, but like if you were grading cats right now, like versus all-time grades, I don't think you're going to see anybody like these guys are drooling over like, oh my God, this is the best whatever position prospect since this guy. That's just not happening this year. I mean, there's a lot of depth at certain positions, like wideout. I think there's like 7 or 8 that go in the first round or something crazy. A few positions with good depth, but nothing like that's that top heavy where it's like people are clamoring over themselves to get to number 1. Like everyone's trying to put a package together and see what the Jags are talking about. Like that's not really out there this year.
Yeah. Now, with all of that being known, the Jacksonville Jaguars got Trent Baalke. So, that we are it's almost inevitable that we're going to make the wrong move at number 1. But more than that, other teams know it too.
You're going to pick a safety or
something. The Jaguars, this JP Acosta posted this. Shout out JP. We follow each other on Twitter, so shout out to him. He says here, or they have a profile insider executives talking about the situation with the Jags. Because as it turns out, nobody wants that pick. They can't even give it up. They can't even hand it to nobody. Says this take is from an AFC college scouting director, sums up where Jags GM Trent Baalke is right now. Everyone knows he wants to trade it, and that tells me he's not in love with any of them. Multiple rival executives raised to me that Baalke is also sensitive to a perception problem he and his team have right now, and that he and the team will get roasted if they do anything other than take Michigan's Aiden Hutchinson or get a king's ransom for the pick. Now, when I look at this, when I read this, what it says to me is that Trent Baalke and the Jaguars don't have enough respect of other executives to even be able to bring them a scenario that they would consider. That they're not going to be and that they know that regardless of what the Jags do, they're going to get laughed at for this pick because they can't pick anybody that's good, that's going to be really considered a good pick. Now, Aiden Hutchinson tested well at the combine. He's rated highly from his combine workout. But I mean, look, man, I never heard of that dude. I never heard of him before the college football year ended. I had heard of him going into the Ohio State game, but he didn't do nothing. And I heard of him I heard more about him after the college football season ended. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's not a generational talent. Because if he's a generational talent, you've heard of him for a couple of years now.
Multiple years. Like we've heard of Kayvon Thibodeau since he was in high school.
Yeah. You heard of cats like Julius Peppers when he was playing basketball at UNC. They were like, yeah, that's the defensive end. And you're like, what? This guy's the DN? Look at him. He's just doing somersault dunks on everybody. Like, what the hell? He ain't going to the NBA. No, he's going to the NFL. I'm like, oh, my God. This guy's a beast. Like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? Like, you've heard of these guys. You've heard of them. Their careers have been chronicled. And then you have a guy who has a great season, as I'm assuming that's what kind of sparked the hype of Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I think he had a really good, like double-digit sacks, a bunch of tackles.
Yeah, he came out of left field. He had a great season, and he had double-digit sacks, like you said. But at the end of the day, is he a guy that you have to double team every play?
Right.
No.
Yeah,
so he's not generational talent because that's the first box you got to check.
Is he Nick Bosa or something like that from recent players? Or
yeah,
I'm trying to get some young cats that are.
Yeah, he's not Nick Bosa. He's not TJ Watt. He's not. I mean, Let's talk about JJ Watt in his prime. I played against JJ Watt in prime. JJ Watt. He ain't. Come on. No. No. That's a guy that we're in film watching film on JJ Watt.
It's a game record.
And I mean, you're just like, yeah, this guy will wreck the game if you let him.
Like
if you don't, you gotta.
You need to know where he is.
You need to know where he is. And you need to know what to do to block him because
your technique need to be on point.
Your technique needs to be on point because he's got a couple things he does that if he gets you with him, that's play. That's over. Play's over.
Kiss the baby.
Yeah, for real. Now it's funny because I got a picture that a fan sent me that they drew of a picture of me pancaking him, and I don't even remember that play. I was just like, oh, really? They just picture of me just got him by his shit. Just I was like, hey, must have got him. Must have got him.
Everybody gets got.
Everybody gets got. But Aiden Hutchinson is not the guy that, if the Jaguars pick him, I truly believe that he's going to be there 4 years and be gone. Because it's not going to be a guy that's going to – I just don't see him as being a guy who's going to come into the league and bring something to the league that we ain't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And, there have been a number of really good and, forgive me for saying it, but there have been a number of, in the recent years, a number of good white DNs who've come out and played ball.
No,
they balled the fuck out.
There's some really good ones right now.
So really, I would say they're the best ones right now.
Yeah, like
they're the best ones in the league right now.
Like you said, the Bosa brothers. There's some
brothers.
Max Crosby.
There's Crosby
balling.
They're like the white defensive end has become a real factor in football. Like they've been balling out. But I mean, even with that, those guys are still way better than Hutchinson.
Yeah,
even as rookies.
They used to be, just the try hard guy.
Yeah, it used to be try hards, great technique, try hard, but man, something about that natural talent, that natural hip sway that they're just missing.
But now
they can't turn those hips on anybody.
Now they're getting that training, at a younger age to flip the hips.
They all got black girlfriends. Shit.
That might be the case.
Out how to use them hips.
That might be the
case. Why you think Travis Kelce's so good? He got that swagger. He got that black swag in him. He does. And then when he shaved his beard, you're like, Jesus Christ. You look at who is this? Fucking Park Ranger Bill? Shit.
Don't do that again, sir. Ever.
Yeah, sir, you're not allowed to be here at this time. It's after sundown, sir. But in all seriousness, these players, these guys who have come out, who at the defensive end position, these white guys who've been playing at it, they've been playing at a high-ass level. They've been game wreckers. And that's how they've been, even in college, all the way up to, and it's like you can see their growth. You can see it all coming together. This guy I have not seen that. I have not felt that in anything that he's done. So for me, the Jags pick him. I think that's a mistake to pick him. And then on the other side of that, you got Evan Neal, which Evan Neal is good, but I think that there's guys who are, in Charles Cross. I think Charles Cross and Evan Neal you can swap them out for being the top O lineman. I personally would pick Charles Cross, but I can see if people would say, hey, Evan Neal, he's got natural talent. He's got strength. He's got explosiveness. His technique's a little lacking in some areas, but he's a guy who you can put there. But is he, you're going to compare him.
The things he lacks, you can teach.
Yeah, the things he lacks, you can teach.
I cannot
Charles
teach.
Cross, same thing.
I can't teach you to be 6'9", 350.
Exactly. I can't teach you to be a big dude like that. I can't teach you to be able to move. I can't teach you to turn your hips like that because that's something you can either do naturally or you can't. it's hard to give you that juice because you know when you see guys on the field, you're like, he just got it. He just knows how to use how to be athletic on the field. And again, like I said, I've only seen very limited film on Aiden Hutchinson, but the film that I've seen, it's a try-hard defensive end who gets the hype because of where he went. And, and that's fine. That's going to get him it's going to put him in a good spot for the draft. But, 4 years down the road is what you're more worried about if you're the Jaguars. Hell, 2 years down the road is what you're more worried about if you're the Jaguars. And if you can't get a guy like what's his name? Josh Allen. Josh Allen was a top pick. If he ain't been the guy as a rusher, and he's a better athlete than Aiden Hutchinson, then how is that going to play out? So I think that the Jags are in a pretty precarious spot just because, one, they're the Jags, and if they weren't in a precarious spot, this wouldn't be reality. And two, Balky doesn't have the sway or the clout to actually use that leverage from the number 1 overall pick correctly in order to trade it. He doesn't have that ability because guys don't respect him. Other GMs don't respect him. And they're just not going to they have no, there's nothing he can entice them with to actually have them trade that pick away. So they're going to be stuck with a pick that probably is going to be one of the most inconsequential first overall picks in the last 10 years, which sucks because you got the first overall 2 years in a row. And you got a generational talent in Trevor Lawrence, but you're unable to back that up with another generational talent, maybe for your defensive side. So it's going to be rough sledding, but we'll see what happens when the draft comes. We'll see how that plays out. But for everybody who's been in here, we really do appreciate y'all for being in here. That is going to be it for us tonight. Now, Wednesday, I believe there is a USFL game that is on as we speak. So maybe we will talk about that on Wednesday as well. But Wednesday, we'll be looking to start getting into some NFL draft and kind of start putting together our own draft board here at Lineman Life. But me and Justin will delegate about that in the next 24 hours. But for everybody who's in here, we appreciate y'all for being in here. And we will catch you all on Wednesday, same time, same place. I am your observing lineman, Uche Waneri, Justin Blaylock here, Skywalker. And we will catch you all on the next Lineman Life Live. Peace.